folks.
Hi there.
It's another episode of Würfelcast.
Huzzah.
Yeah, and the topic of the day is top five naughty games. Okay, it's not.
Ooh.
Ah,
Wow.
it's nautical, not
Oh,
nautical. Yes,
that's disappointing now. I had
all
a
about
I
sailing.
was going to scrap this list and make another one.
Well, I have my top one naughty game. Maybe one
Is it
day.
the Dixits?
Yes, it's the only one I've
Okay.
played.
Oh, I bet it isn't. I bet you've played another one. I know you've actually played Codenames After Dark. You just didn't realize it. Um,
Oh,
and
oh.
oh,
No, I think I played Cards Against Humanity, and I played.
there you see.
I've never played Tentacles game, the
Oh, Consentical.
Tentacles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, well, you know,
It's okay.
it happens.
I'll forgive you this time.
Thank you. But today's topic is nautical games, all about sailing, navigation,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. But before we get to the topic, we should discuss some other important stuff, and
Ooh.
it's very important. It's the Watcher's Babble. So, tell me, Kyle,
All
what's
right.
your
Well, I mean, it
choice
has
today?
only been a week, so I haven't watched that much, but I did start a show. It was on Netflix, and it kept being recommended, so I decided to give it a try. It's called The Residence,
Okay.
and this is a kind of a quirky detective show. So essentially, someone, a White House employee, not a politician, but an employee who works there has been found murdered, and they call in this detective who's very much like sort of your standard quirky detectives, your Miss Marples, your well, they even make a reference to whoever Daniel Craig plays in that movie. Uh, just sort of these
Mm-hmm.
quirky detective types who are very insightful but have interesting people skills. This woman is very interested in bird watching and keeps getting distracted whenever she sees some kind of a bird. It's lighthearted, but it is a murder mystery. I've only watched a couple episodes, so I don't know who done it yet. Um, but it's been very enjoyable. It's something I was watching The Witcher before, and that requires a bit more attention. This one is something to do just kind of casually. You can kind of have it on while you're doing something else. I've been enjoying it. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's just the one season, um, but I do plan on continuing.
Let's see. Yeah, I looked at this one. I wasn't sure, so maybe I should watch it.
Yeah, so far it's been fun.
Okay, okay. The logo, it kind of feels like they took inspiration from the Glass Onion.
Yeah,
Remember the
it's Knives Out
movie?
is what you're thinking. That's the
Yeah.
one that I mentioned with Daniel Craig. I mean, it's very much inspired by that style of movie, and yeah, it
Uh
does
huh.
kind of have a Knives Out appearance. I think they're trying to get people who liked that, and if you liked the Knives Out movie or the Glass Onion, then you'll probably
I
like this
enjoyed.
one.
Yeah. Right. And I continued my journey into um, anime world. You know, all I watch right now is
Oh,
anime. Though I also watched the reality show. I don't remember the name anymore.
oh,
Battle
that one.
Camp. Battle Camp.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not about that. I'm gonna talk about another anime, which is sometimes it's cool to find anime which is not your typical typically constructed, a simple person becoming a huge hero for the rest of the world. Your Naruto, your One Piece, etc. Like they're quirky, they're all of these characters, this kind of a shonen style. But this one is different. This one is The Eminence in Shadow.
Okay.
And this one has two seasons. And it's weird because it seems like the story has not ended. And I don't understand if there will be more, or I mean, I heard there will be a movie.
It's always a problem with anime.
Yeah, it seems like the novels, the light novels, it's based on have much more story to tell. So that's sad, but this is about a boy who pretends to be this kind of a hero in shadows. He wants to be a background character.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to just, you know, b- uh, he wants to defeat the bandits, etc. So he's in that real world, but he feels like his power is not enough. His training, etc. He wants, like, the only thing he is missing is magic. He wants something magical,
Oh,
and he accidentally falls under the truck. He's killed, and
oh,
he's reborn into the magical world, into an aristocratic family who are into, like, who trade, like, their lineage is all about having dark knights or something like that, like raising children into knights, whatever.
okay.
They're dark knights. So, but when he's born, his consciousness is with him as a little baby as well. So he grows up. He doesn't show his real power, but he's OP. He is too powerful for anyone in the world. Whatever. It's like one punch man. A little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And this show is a little bit satirical. It shows how he takes everything as a game. Like, he has this kind of a he wants to be a background character, but at
Mm-hmm.
night he becomes the shadow, the ultimate
Ooh.
warrior, and he kind of accidentally becomes the leader of not an organization, not a cult, but organization of shadows. He he just happened to rescue some elves, some girls, and so he tells them stories from his real world. Just babbles, and they believe everything, take everything as a real thing. And he made up a story about a cult of Diablo. They started
Mm-hmm.
believing that, and it actually started happening in that magical world. Like, there's a huge cult they need to defeat, and, like, they become a huge organization, and it's all because he just joked around a bit.
I
But
see.
they see him as the Lord, as the leader, as the strongest man, and so there's all of that. The whole show is him trying not to show who he really is, but in the background, he is quirky, he is talentless. Everyone sees him like his usual self. Everybody sees him as weakling, but then in the shadow, he's the Lord, he's the man, he's the
All right.
weapon. Well, it's
There you go.
yeah, it's it's quirky in a sense. It's not, it was a little bit hard for me to watch because, like, why does he why does he hide his powers, like, and always shows everyone that he's weakling? But this is the whole premise of the show. So
Got it. All right.
hopefully we get more. Hopefully we get more, and I don't know if there will be new seasons. Anime is probably ended, but there will be a movie, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's this about, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get more of that.
Got it.
Interesting show. All right, that's the Eminence in Shadow, and that's the Watcher's Babble.
What
Let's
it
get
up?
to the next topic, which is recent plays. So,
All right. So my recent plays, I've been teaching people games and playing a lot of old Kickstarter games that I've been under the hood of. But as I was doing it, sometimes I've been going back and also trying things that I enjoyed from before. And what I've been playing a bit of lately is Shards of Infinity.
okay,
Shards of Infinity is a game it sort of comes to my mind around Eurovision time because it's one that I had traditionally taken with me when I was going because it's in a small box and it works well with lots of people. I mean, it does work with lots of players, but it's an easy game to introduce people to. This is very much just a straight deck building game. It borrows heavily from Ascension, but what you're doing here is you're buying cards from a center row of 6, and the cards, this really introduced a feature that's been seen in a lot of deck building games. Many of the cards have kind of a red background around their number, their cost. And if you buy that card, you can play it immediately. You don't put it in your deck. It just, you use its effect immediately, and you move on. Ultimately, what you're doing is you're trying to attack your opponent, and there's also a way to level up. And as you level up, you increase on this tracker. Eventually, there's a card that you have that if you get to level 30, it does infinite damage. So you basically just win. So it's going to, even if somebody's healing a lot or has a lot of blocking, if you're able to, another way to kind of do things is to increase your levels. If you're able to level up to the max quickly enough, then you can also win that way. It's really fast. It's probably a 20-minute game. Just a great pure deck building game with no real theme thrown in. There kind of is one, I guess, but not really. I got recently the new edition, which is the big box edition that has kind of a campaign to play. I have not touched the campaign. I'm not sure I even will, because this is not a game that needed that. But it is nice to have all of the cards. And if you're just looking for a short, simple deck building game to take with you, if you want to introduce it to people who haven't played a lot of games, I've found this is one that kind of blows people's minds if they're not into games. If they are, then okay, this is a deck building game and it's a fun one. But it's good, it's available, it's easy, and I've been enjoying it.
Okay. I've never played that one. I'm not a fan of how it looks. I don't know. I'm not a fan of
it's
art.
the same publisher who did Ascension, so also not a game known for its art.
Yeah, it kind of just some images for the sake of, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
All right.
That's not where the game's. It's not one of its strengths. It's the way that it looks and the theme, not strong, but gameplay is great.
Okay. So it's been a week and I haven't played anything yet.
No.
Still, I know, but I'll be playing tonight. I'll be playing Clank Legacy 2. We'll be continuing that, so at least I'll play something today.
Good.
So I'm not going to talk about it because it's the future
play.
Yeah. Well, I have previous sessions, but anyway, let's get to the next topic, which is crowdfunding. Very sad topic, to be honest, because there's nothing really, and
there's
it
not
seems
a
like
whole lot.
And it seems like the tariff situation really affects the projects that were about to come out. As far as I heard, I've heard many different instances about like many companies pull out their projects because or don't launch new ones. Like Simon doesn't launch any new ones because of the tariffs, etc.
Simon needs to work on delivering what it owes. So I'm totally okay with that. But
anyway.
there aren't a lot. There are a few, but I'm actually okay with there not being quite as many because I was at a point where I was having too many that I could handle. I've complained about being buried under amount of Kickstarter games. Definitely still the case, and so having a little breathing room. I know self-control would have worked as well, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's not your fault that you.
It's not.
Not at all. Mm-hmm.
But if we were to talk about one, there's one that's on right now, and this is a campaign for Super Pixel Tactics. Pixel Tactics was a game that came out years. It's on Kickstarter, or is it on GameFound? I don't remember.
Let me try.
Super Pixel Tactics.
Oh, it's here.
No, there you are. I think it's on GameFound. So this is Level 99 Games, and one of their early forays into crowdfunding projects was a sort of a chest of small games. And there were small one-deck games, and it was a little library, and the best of those games was a game called Pixel Tactics. And then they made a whole bunch of other versions of Pixel Tactics, and nothing fits in any boxes, and it's kind of a disaster. So here, this is 10 years later at least, and they are remaking Pixel Tactics. What this game is you have, I think it's a 3x3 grid, kind of like Radlands actually. But you've got your leader and then other people, and you're kind of maneuvering them about. You're going to attack with them, and you're it's just a very little tactical head-to-head battle game with sort of grids and lanes. Now that's not my favorite kind of tactical game, unless we consider Summoner Wars that. But but you're sort of moving the things around the grid, keeping things protected, using special abilities of some cards to try and attack your opponent and destroy their leader, I believe. And yeah, that's how it is. There's this sort of 8-bit art. That's the pixel portion of Pixel Tactics. This was back when that was real popular.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited about it. I have not played Pixel Tactics in a long time, but I think sort of a complete set and a big box edition would probably get me back into it.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm not my style of game, it seems. But yeah, really, there's really nothing that caught my eye. But I chose something. I just chose something,
Okay.
and I saw this THQ Nordic. The THQ is a video game publisher company, and they have this Gothic. Gothic is an old RPG, and I heard they are redesigning, redoing the video game. It's an RPG video game, an old one, very old one, but they are doing a new edition of that as a video game. So it seems like the board game tries to, also enter the scene
Okay.
with the video game. It seems. I'm not sure how much it is of video game inspired. Probably it is,
I hate that
but
title. That's the most generic of titles. Uh,
Gothic. I know,
Gothic: A
but
Shadow's Quest.
yeah, but Gothic, yeah, it's a very popular old RPG video game. But this one seems to be an RPG like game, uh, a campaign game probably where you fight, etc., and you go through the journey. So if you're interested, it's not doesn't seem to be great looking game, but if you're interested
That's an
in
understatement.
yeah, and if you're interested in Gothic as a like if you have played Gothic video game, maybe this one will interest you. I'll say that. Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of like an RPG game. It seems to
Okay.
be. No, it's not really. It's a board game. It's a tabletop game, but with RPG elements probably. So
Well,
that's all. That's it's just scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's like
it really is.
really nothing to choose. So I chose something that reminded me of something else.
Yeah. Well,
Or yeah, that's how the situation is right now in a board game scene. Anyway, let's get to the next topic, which is buy, try, goodbye.
all
So,
right. This is always exciting. Are you ready? Are you ready for Bye, Try, Goodbye about nautical games?
well, yes. The only thing is that looking at the price increase, I'm not really buying anything. I'll
Oh,
I'll pretend I'll buy.
okay, that works. Well, you might not even like these games. Let's see what happens here. So the
I'm
first
sure
one
of
we
it.
have is, and this was one that I was surprised you had not had a rating on. This is
Hmm.
a classic of nautical-ish games. This is the first, not really the first, but the first successful game from Garfield Games, and this is Raiders of the North Sea.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, it is a worker placement-ish game. The hook being that you have one worker. You always start your turn with one worker. You place that worker, and then you do an action. Then you'll pick up another one, and and do an action with it as well. And the strength of there's 3 different colors of workers, which are unfortunately white, black, and gray. And but um, but depending on the kind of worker you're placing, you might be able to do different things or have access to different places. Ultimately, you're trying to get various resources to turn them into cards, to turn the cards into points, and to have the most points at the end of the game. Very simple, but an interesting way to do things, and it also, much like Champions of Midgard, which for some reason is comparable to in my mind, it's better with its expansions. That's the first entry.
Yeah.
The second entry is a game that is totally not a roll and write game. This game is Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Uh-huh.
And Guild of Merchant Explorers, when I say it's totally not a roll and write game, it's because you neither roll nor write. However, you do have this board, and you're going to flip over a card and then use these tokens to fill in spots. And you're trying to branch things out to when you fill in an area completely, then you're going to be able to place a little outpost there, and that will be a place you can start from in the future, so you're able to kind of explore a little bit more efficiently. You're going to play 4 rounds, so 4 times through the deck, and each round you're going to get access to a special card that's unique to you. And so whenever that symbol comes up, you'll do your special card, everyone else will do their special card. So, and then you're trying to get the most points. There's goals to complete, sort of that standard fare. The hook is or the sort of thing is that when at the end of the round, you're going to wipe off all the cubes. So you're going to start the new round kind of anew, either from your central city or from those outposts that you had placed.
Okay.
That's the Guild of Merchant Explorers. And the third one I have for you is the most complicated of the set, but this is largely a solo game, although you can play it with more than one if you like. It is a complicated game with lots of dice rolling and very random, but interesting story, and the game is Nemo's War. You're going to take the role of Captain Nemo of Nautilus fame, and in the Nautilus, and you're going to be sailing around, you're going to be attacking other ships and trying to sink them. You might be trying to explore, you might be trying to find gems. There's a whole lot of different ways you can play, different things you can focus on. And you're going to select a different mood for Captain Nemo, which will help you will influence sort of different ways that are going to be successful for you. This is a game from Victory Point Games, which normally means it's terrible quality, although this is one that I guess they found somebody to put money into, so you can at least have a nice version that comes in a box. It's a very long game, but it's pretty captivating, and and very nautical.
Okay. So, well, Nemo's War is a solo game.
Yes. But you can play it with 2.
I heard it's a solo game.
Well, it is, but you can play it with 2.
Is it interesting with 2?
No.
Is there any point in playing it with 2?
If you have another person and you'd like to play it with them.
Yes, but is there any point you control different stuff, or you both just control one thing?
You do different things. I read through the 2-player rules, and I think I may have tried it once, but I do think the game thrives as a solo experience.
All right, so because
which means it's always easy to find a person to play with.
Yeah. Look in the mirror. Okay. Well, I was at some point interested in this game, but it's a solo, so I'll just have to say goodbye to this one because it's a solo game. Now, for a try, I'm going with the Guild of Merchants.
Guild of Merchant Explorers. A very generic name.
Very generic name. Seems to be not so nautical at all. Maybe it is, but
can you see? Did you look at the box cover? Do you see what's there?
Yeah, that's the only thing I saw. Everything else was abstract as hell. All right. And
No, because you're going over the water, and there are like shipwrecks you can discover,
yeah,
and that's to draw a
sure.
card from a
Mm-hmm.
deck. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's in there.
Well, I had a short list of games where I had a particular game. I was like, well, it has ships, but how nautical it is, not at all. But like, it's ships all the way. Anyway, and Raiders of the North Sea is by. I wanted this game at some point. Yes, I've never played any of the Garfield games, any of them. I don't know. At some point, I just missed the train, and they popped them out. They all look the same, same art. Like they kind of look the same, and I know they're
Yes,
different, but it's like the trilogy of that, the trilogy of that. But it seems like he just bumps out the same game, almost the same game, again and again and again under a new trilogy. I don't see what's so different about those games that I need to own all of them. And some people might argue I have not played them, so I don't know, but it seems so.
but you
So
could play
Raiders,
just Raiders and its expansions and feel like you had a complete experience.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I don't
remember.
like. I think that series, that all those 9 games, I think it's a 50% hit rate for me. So there's a lot of hits, but there's also a lot of misses.
Hmm. So the Raiders. I think I remember there was a campaign on Kickstarter, and then there was the Champions of Midgard campaign as well.
Yeah.
It seems like there were two campaigns at the same time, and I decided to go with the Champions of Midgard, if I remember
Also a good
correctly.
choice.
That's why I didn't back Raiders of North Sea. So I had to back one of the two,
Mhm.
limited resources. So maybe that. But today it's a buy,
All right.
pretentious buy.
A
All right.
pretentious buy. Okay. I don't know what's pretentious about it, but all right. All right.
I try my best. Anyway, let's get to the topic of the day, which is top 5 nautical games. Not naughty, nautical.
Oh. So
Well,
gay sauna and Dixits, not on the list.
well, sauna means there's water, so you you could float in sauna. Anyway, let's get to the topic. This is all about. So we discussed that. This is all about. Say, it's not about just sea themed games or ocean themed games. It's about navigation and sailing. More specific, if there were just the games about sea, the ocean, whatever, there would be so many different genres actually,
Hmm.
like Finspan, it's like, but it's not a nautical game. So there should be a ship or some navigation or sailing across, something like that. There should be something like that in the games. So that's how I compiled my list. There was one game I put on my short list, but technically you could. The one game was Yamatai. I was thinking about Yamatai because you build the routes with ships. The ships is the central mechanism. So technically, it has ships. I mean, this game is nothing about a nautical theme. Well, so yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a weak choice. Uh,
Well, it would have been my number 5, but no.
okay,
Anyway, let's get to number 5.
let's go.
Mamba, Mamba number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a game that you have played, and it was not the first game I thought of when I thought of nautical games. However, I was going through the list on Board Game Geek under the nautical tab, and it came up, and it fits. This is a game about ships, but rather than being the old-timey wooden ships, they're mostly modern cargo ships, and you are moving them through the Panama Canal, trying to navigate it.
Yeah.
And this game is Panamax. Now, this is a game I have not played in a very long time, but as I was getting
Me
ready for the
too.
list, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, that game's a lot of fun. So this is a game largely about logistics. As you are moving ships through this canal, you're trying to sort of have them in the right place at the right time so that they can move through as efficiently as possible. Because, of course, if you can position it in just the right spot, then someone else will have to spend their actions pushing your ship along because the canal is narrow. You're also trying to complete contracts. You've got dice, with which are really what you're moving through this canal. It's been a real while since I played it, but I remember really thinking it was interesting. One of the functions of the game, and it's not the only one that does this, but you have sort of your personal funds and then company funds, and you don't want to touch your own personal funds. You want to try and use the company funds as much as possible. Um, the quality of the components in this game was
Eh,
subpar, but the game itself
well,
is really
Strong Cold
quite
Games.
interesting. It doesn't really feel like anything else, and it's an interesting take on nautical games, with you sort of running a shipping company.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this one back
I
at the
know.
time. Well, the thing is, I might have enjoyed it today more. You know, it's economic in a sense. I might have enjoyed this theme and everything more. The biggest problem, and it's Stronghold Games, like not the biggest. One of the problems, of course, is the production. So Stronghold Games is very bad, like extremely bad at production and quality and art. They are like they never but their game sold. So it's like they just did their thing. They mostly reprinted stuff. They just took some other publisher's game and distribute them in US, etc. globally. So like Terraform Mars, it's very bad quality game, very bad. Like not in gameplay, but they never did anything to improve. So that was one of the things that was in the way. The other thing, and the biggest thing, if you would get like when you get Panamex, and you open the rulebook, trust me, you will never learn from the rulebook. The rulebook is so bad
It's not
that
the best rule book.
I read it a few times. I could never understand how to play. I had to go to Rauto's channel, watch his video, and then I understood how to play.
Hmm.
I I never did understand how to play from the rulebook. It was so bad that I just couldn't stand it. It was abysmally bad.
It's not the best rule book, but the game's good.
Well, it's the worst rulebook
No, it's
I've
not.
ever
There's
ever
there are
had.
worse rule books.
Well, you played more games, yeah, but I mean, like
Fair
from
enough.
my perspective, it's the worst rulebook
I
ever. I mean,
see. Okay.
except the game about Mars. There was one game about Mars which was literally missing rules, so we had to print some stickers to stick them into the rulebook to make the game
Delightful.
playable.
Sounds amazing.
Anyway, yeah, Panamax, yeah, whatever, an old game. Take it or leave it.
There's nothing wrong with an old game.
No, no, it's not. It's not. It just it seems like it's been forgotten. It's not
Well,
really
it,
in the
it was,
picture
but
anymore.
now I'm thinking about it and I want to play it again.
Yes. My number five is a more magical theme, but it's a nautical game. It has ships. You sail around and you try to kind of conquer different islands and gain money, and eventually win the game, gain most points. This is Islebound,
Okay.
and I got this new Emerald edition,
Ooh.
which we played wrong. We were tired. We played several
Yeah.
games before that, and then we missed the. I even read that in the rule book, and then we missed the essential rule and played it wrong. And it was like the economy of this game is broken. But it was like, oh, you have to take money for that. Then it's not broken, but Anyway, Islebound is so the Emerald Edition adds Emerald as a resource. A small thing, you can do extra stuff with that. But mostly this is a game about, yeah, you have those ships, you sail around the islands, you try to, and I hate that picture why it's upside down. You sail around, you try to conquer the islands or to take them diplomatically. I don't remember exactly how it's like. You want these different islands so you can gain most points. You buy cards which give you points at the end of the game, or I don't remember, some small actions, etc. You hire different people, like you hire people or sea serpents to fight for you, so something like that, to increase your power in order to conquer those islands. And those islands have also different actions that you can activate. You collect resources, and the thing is that if you own the island, then another person must pay you in order to visit that island, etc. So there's that, basically economy, resource collection, and getting those islands under your control. So a quite easy game, actually.
Yeah, I like Islebound. It's been a long time since I played it. I didn't get the new edition. I still have the classic edition of Islebound, but from what I can tell, there's not that much different. Um,
No,
so
it's not.
I remember feeling like this one was kind of overlooked uh, in that series of games from this designer, but
Yes.
I always enjoyed it.
Well, I had it a long time ago, and we had several of it games, and there was like above and below, and there. And when he went into that other type of game, this one kind of got forgotten. I
Right.
sold it, but then he came out with Creatures Caravan and Outbound, so I was like, why not
Okay.
get both? You know,
Sure.
I'll get both. It's gonna be good. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I just played it several
Mhm.
years ago, but yeah, the Creatures Caravan wasn't. It was good, but it was so solitary multiplayer that I got rid of Creatures Caravan. This one is
Mm.
still in my collection.
Okay.
This one is more, it has more interaction, and it's not,
Definitely.
it's not a, in your face interaction. It's very much a
A by
more
your side
peaceful.
interaction.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Let's get to number 4.
All right. All right. My number 4 is a game that definitely is a nautical game. Definitely is about sailing. In fact, the title is Sail.
Yeah, I thought about that one.
And so this is a two-player cooperative trick-taking game. There is a Sail Legacy coming out this summer, which looks pretty fantastic.
Why?
I don't know, but the artwork on it is pretty good. This is just the base Sail, which is the only one I've played. And what you're doing is it's a trick taking game, and you're trying to move a boat over over a certain distance by the end of a certain number of rounds.
Hmm.
Ultimately, what you're doing is you're going to be playing cards and following trick taking rules, but there's also a kraken that will attack at certain points, and depending on the card you play, you might be able to move a little bit better. You might be able to uh, interfere with the kraken. Sometimes, if you both happen to play this one specific card, it lets you kind of skip a space and move. So you move straight ahead instead of at an angle. Ultimately, you're going to be moving the ship. You both play a card, and the ship will move toward the player who played the bigger card. So you're going to try and know where the ship needs to go, and hopefully use that to inform your decisions on how you're playing it. It's a light
Hmm.
game. It's short. It's easy to play, easy to get into, but has a delightful. It's a delightful two-player challenge, and I love trick-taking games, and I love two-player trick-taking games especially, and this is definitely one.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's
not a
very
fan of.
nautical.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It, it
it's called Sail. Come on,
it
and
is. It is. It is. It
it's
is. It's
about
just,
sailing a ship.
yeah, it is, but it's very abstract. So don't really think you will get a lot of theme. There is some theme. There's more theme than other trick taking games. I enjoyed this one. We played it. Played with you.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of trick-taking games. This one is something I can play. You know, it's not. I didn't like the what's the space themed the one, the crew. You know, the
Oh,
crew
okay.
as it's also a cooperative trick-taking game. Yes, but
With less theme.
less theme. I didn't like the crew. I like the Lord of the Rings one more. Maybe because it was tied to a theme. There were some intricacies. This one is in that similar vein. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
it has some theme and it's cooperative and it's engaging. Yeah, why not?
All right.
A good choice. Let's get to my number four. My number four is not only about sailing, but it's the whole premise is to sail from one point, from one location to the other, but you're not always sailing. It depends on where the sun shines at that particular moment. Expedition Northwest Passage,
Ah, yes,
and
one of
there is
yours.
a yeah, there's a new edition. There was a new edition, but I don't know exactly how different it is. It's HMS Terror Edition. It seems to be. I don't know what that means. No, well, the game is. I chose this one because we don't talk about some games we don't talk about a lot, and I wanted to
This is
point
not
out
one
that.
of those games.
Well, yeah,
You talk about this one a lot.
where I've talked
Here.
about this, yeah, twice maybe
Mm-hmm.
at most. It doesn't fit any other themes, so
Okay.
you just think that it is like that. It's not really. But anyway, this one is well, I don't own it, and it's not the best game ever, but it fits the theme of nautical
Okay.
games
Yeah, it's fair.
quite well. You sail to Northwest Passage, and there is sea spaces and the ice spaces, and the sun moves around, and part of the board becomes ice, part of the board becomes sea. You know, and it changes, so you have to constantly change your in order to not get stuck. You have to constantly change your ship into sleds and so on, get to the Northwest Passage and get back, or be lost in the icy waters. You can get stuck. You can there can be a situation where you will never be able to get out, and you lose, you die, whatever. But it's an interesting concept of you exploring the map, and you are laying out the map with those different tiles. You know, it's
Sure.
you are creating this space, you're creating this world, and how the sun goes around, and you can definitely plan ahead. You totally understand this will be frozen, so this will be not. So, but yeah, and it's a race.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So
this is one that you enjoy. Um, and
I enjoyed it. It's not,
I have not played it, so
well, yeah, it's not the best game ever. It just the theme fits perfectly here.
fair enough. I
Should you
agree.
try it? It has some very interesting mechanisms. You should definitely try it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Hmm. Not maybe, definitely. Okay. I'll make you play it.
Well, if you find yourself with me in a place where it is, it's a possibility.
Okay. We'll see. Maybe it's in. I'm not sure it's going to be in the library, but anyway, let's get to number three.
All right, let's go. All right. My number three is there's actually this game does double duty because there's really two games that are very similar, but this is the one that I'm actually liking a little bit more these days because it's a little bit faster. This game is The Pirates of Maracaibo. The
Mm-hmm.
other game, of course, that fits kind of in this same vein is Maracaibo. Uh, but the Pirates version is the light card game version, where you are sort of you have sort of a variable board, and I kind of enjoy that. So what you're doing in this game, well, that's not the variable board. You've got this set of island cards that are all set out, and you are going to be moving your ship 1, 2, or 3 spaces, and then interacting with the card that you stop on. It could be a card that you buy. You can always, if you don't want to buy the card, just get $5 if you're in need of money. These dice are used when raiding. You're going to attack an island and steal something from it. And really, what you do is roll the dice, pick the highest one, and then do actions based upon the value. You're upgrading your ship, which is what you're showing right there, which will allow you different special abilities, different bonuses. Sometimes they're
Yeah.
immediate, sometimes they're ongoing. There are quest cards. I really enjoy some of the variants that come with the game. You can play it so all of the islands are face down, so you don't know what you're coming to, and that kind of gives you sort of a feel of discovery as you're going through it. I like to play with the quest hunter variant, so you're really intrigued. If you don't get the quests, if you get the quest, you get double the points, but if you don't, you lose some points, so it kind of adds some incentive there. But just the general core game is really fun. It's actually pretty fast. It's much faster than Maracaibo because you're only going to go through this line 3
Hmm.
times, and somebody's gonna get to the end, and that sort of triggers the end of the round. It's a really interesting game of sort of figuring out what strategy you want to go for, but it's all involving these ships that are sailing around. And yeah, and I got the expansion for it recently, but I haven't yet had a chance to play it.
Okay. Yeah.
You haven't
I
played
see
this
there's
one?
a yeah, I see there's a ship. I see there's war. But how much of a theme, nautical theme is really there? And
A
how much
lot.
of it is how much of it
Because
is just a
you're a
plain
pirate and you're
dry
sailing a
euro?
ship around. Oh, this is
Uh-huh.
not a dry euro at all. You haven't played this one, so you don't know how good this is. But
Uh-huh.
it's
Uh-huh.
it's it's definitely so thematically. I won't say that the theme is the strongest. It's not the strongest themed game on my list, but it's a good game. And you really do, right? You are sailing around this board. You're discovering the islands. You're
Mhm.
interacting with them. You're improving your ship so that you're better. The combat is really not really combat. It's just something to do. And there's a board that you kind of move your guy forward on, which is really just a one-way track. That part isn't
Mhm.
the most thematic. Uh, but I would say it is more thematic than many other Euro games. Um,
Uh-huh.
if
Uh-huh.
and that theme is appropriate for
Yeah.
our list.
I could see that you took a very defensive stance when I asked about the theme. But yeah.
The
Oh,
theme is not the game's strong suit.
yeah. I will have to trust your word.
I mean,
Oh
look at that
yeah.
picture. You can see that
Y-
that's going to be pirates of where? Of
Yeah.
Maracaibo.
Well, all I see is a dry euro with lots of symbols.
Oh no, that's a wet euro.
That's a gosh. We have to end the show now.
Okay.
It's getting too wet. Let's get to my number three. Well, it's this game is also about sea. It has sea in its title. It's you're sailing around, but you're also submerging, and this is Endeavor Deep Sea.
Okay.
Sea, you see, it's a sea. There was Age of Sail, of course, but I would say I wasn't a big fan of Age of Sails, and it has less theme than this one.
That's fair. I like Age of Sail, but it is less thematic than this one.
Yeah, this one is also a nautical theme, but it's more modern. You sail around different locations and then submerge, eventually trying to get stuff, collect points, get resources,
So you
etc.
don't
So
sail because it's a submarine, and those don't sail. But you do move around.
no, but there's you move around with your boat, isn't it?
It's a submarine. Submarines don't have sails,
Uh,
but that's okay. It's fine. It doesn't have to be a sailing game.
well, yeah, it's a nautical game. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the sea with submarine, whatever. Anyway, you're just trying to activate stuff, collect points, getting deeper into the uh, oceanic abyss,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just uh, the whole idea of the game is to get those specialists. If I can show you, maybe not. Well, anyway, you have
They're
these
right there.
different characters, specialists that you want to upgrade as well. you try to get them in order to expand your action pool and get more action tokens as well. So it's the central mechanism is all about managing your crew in a sense. But yeah, everything else is just activating those different spaces and putting tokens down. I wouldn't say it's extremely thematic,
Yeah.
but it has some theme.
It's actually not as it's actually the theme is not that bad actually. It's I mean, the sort of missions that you're doing, those are a little kind of hand wavy. Um,
Yeah.
but the sort of experience of going through, of digging down deeper, or sorry, sounding your sonar deeper to discover newer and better locations. Each space that you come to is going to do something different, which is a small twist on the theme. I actually think the theme's pretty strong here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
More
it's
so
okay
than
here.
Endeavor Age of Sail.
Yes, that's true. And it's more streamlined. It seems like it's more streamlined. It's more compact
Yeah,
than
it is.
the original one. Well,
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, no, I like this one.
Let's get to number 2.
All right. My number 2 is Endeavor Age of Sail. So, or sorry, Endeavor Deep Sea. I went with Deep
Oh,
Sea. I thought I bounced between the two, but I think I do ultimately like Deep Sea slightly better. And the reason for that is that in Age of Sail, you have a hard limit on the number of cards you can have. And it's not fun to sort of work up to something and then have to throw something away. And you don't have that problem here because you're not buying cards like you are in, or you are buying cards, but you can have as many as you want, and you won't get that many. But but there was an action just to take a card in Age of Sail that was fun and it gave you good stuff, but then you were constantly moving up and down on those tracks, and I don't like that. But the sea aspect, the exploration, and the sort of discovery in this game is really quite high. I like the fast turns. I like that no one can ever get ahead on the specialists, right? You're always getting exactly one each round. You might get a better one if you've improved that statistic, but you're really always, it's a hard limit, right? And that keeps the game moving at a nice clip. It looks good. The theme is fun, and the different missions, although I mean, like I mentioned, they're kind of hand wavy, but yeah, it's fun. It's a different sort of twist, a different way to explore, a different way to experience it. I
mm-hmm.
quite enjoy Endeavor Deep Sea.
Yeah, agree. So my number 2, and I was debating whether to put it into my number 1 spot or number 2 spot because thematically it's stronger than number 1, I would argue. But based on I went based on gameplay. What game would I enjoy more as of today? So my number 2 is a classic. I want to be brought back. I want to be streamlined. I want to be given this kind of a same treatment as Cyclades when they went on. They improved on the gameplay. They made an addition that combines different ideas of expansions, etc. So I want this to be brought back. I'm not sure who or will ever, but Merchants and Marauders is. Oops, not this one. Ah, well, here we go. And you can see there's a guy, there's a pirate looking at the ship. And this is, well, as I said, I played games about sailing on my PC or laptop, whatever. I played in the old days. I've also played the kind of a Pirates of the Caribbean type of video game. It was the old game. I don't remember. Corsairs was the name or something like that, which I enjoyed a lot. You sail around. You have to manage crew. You go to tavern to get more crew. You need to get the different. You go to ports. You buy goods. You sell goods. Um, so you manage your ship. You upgrade your ship. You buy a new ship. Oh, it's the whole idea is so much fun. This one does what the video game did all the way. You upgrade your ship or you get a new one. You know, there are NPC players, which are basically those different ships sailing around, and you can become a merchant. You can become a marauder or a pirate. Uh, yeah, lawful or unlawful. Anyway, it's cool because they start chasing you, etc. It's like in the video game. It's everything like in the video game, and you're trying to
Okay.
get to I don't remember 50 gold or something like that points.
Something like
The
that.
gold there's some like there are some points you need to get to certain points, and every 10 gold is a point, and then you get you also get to hear rumors, and then you go chase down those rumors. You go into ports, you buy stuff cheap, and then go try to sell it for a higher price somewhere else. It's everything I would want in a nautical themed game, in a pirate game. That's why I was debating if if it should be my number one, because thematically it does everything right. This is the this is the game, but
Yeah.
it also has problems because
It's really long.
it's really long. The other problem is your turn is you move the ship up to 3 spaces. If you are like sometimes you if you enter the port, you have so many things to do. So for example, your turn is just to move ship 3 spaces because you want to get to another location. That's it. Your turn was like a second. The other person, he moves into port, he buys stuff, he sells stuff, he upgrades the ship, and it takes them, I don't know, 10 minutes to do all the stuff. But your turn was 1 second, so you're waiting there for a
Hmm.
long time. So some turns will be kind of uninspiring in a sense because you need to. It's not like you're always entering ports, but this imbalance of the turns is somewhat, you know. And next time you'll be the one entering the port, and he will be sailing, you know, and you'll be waiting for you for 10 minutes. Yeah, so yeah, but still,
Yeah.
please somebody reprint this
Yeah.
game, streamline this game, make it the what's the Western themed game, the huge sandbox Western themed game.
Western Legends.
Yeah, Western Legends. Here we go. It's
Okay.
it seems to be like that. It's also a sandbox game. So there's an expansion that has storms, etc. So extra stuff. Just reprint this beautiful game, make it into a modern title sandbox game. I will buy it.
All right. Yeah, it's a good game. It's just very long. I remember it as being long before I remember it as being fun, and that's not the right experience. So hopefully, if there were a reprint, it could maybe cut down on some of that.
Yeah. So I was just coming in from the video game experience. That's why probably I enjoyed it much more.
Hmm.
So, all right, let's get to the final number one.
All right. All right. My number one. My number one is a game that is largely equivalent to your number two. It sort of fills the same bucket for me, and is part of why I don't eagerly look for Merchants and Marauders, because this game came out, and this is one that I really took a shine to it. This is a game about pirates, and lots of nautical games just will involve them because of kind of what they do. This is a game of discovery, of getting goods and trading them, or attacking and raiding others. It's a game that uses an odd form of combat and an odd form of deck building. The game is Dead Reckoning.
Hmm.
So, in this game, you're a pirate and you're upgrading your ship, of course. And ultimately, though, I believe you have 12 cards. You've got a 12 card deck. And this is sort of the highest and best use of that kind of clear card crafting system, because each turn you get to place one of these little transparent things. You can place one on a card that you well on cards that you've played that turn. And so when you do an action with the card, you get to do all of the things that are on it. So as you play these cards more, they're going to improve. You're also going to be able to upgrade a card each turn. So you'll be able to sort of flip it over and it'll get stronger and better actions. And that's kind of the core way that the game's working. Obviously, you're trying to go out and get access to these new things. There you go. You see, for example, that deckhand there that we had, he's been fully upgraded. He's at level 3, I guess, rather than level 4. But he's got all 3 of those different bars on him, so he's able to do a whole lot of things. when you play with him, he's very clearly an attacker in this case. And so part of what you're doing is you're moving out there. Now, there's a limited number of cubes that you have, so you're using the cubes to control islands so that you can build on them, and you don't have enough room in your ship to take all the treasure back every time. So you might eventually have to dump some on an island, and then you want to make sure that island's well protected so that somebody else can't come along and find your treasure and just keep it. So there is that. There's sort of being able to move fast and efficiently. There's some expansions that are saga expansions, and you can play through a campaign. And the campaign was not great. I'd say I didn't find the campaign very compelling, but you can just
Hmm.
leave the expansion stuff in and find it and experience it. There was a kraken you could fight, for example, and there's ghosts and things, but there's also just bigger and better ships you can chase and hunt down. And every time you experience one of these, you're going to be able to hopefully get a way to upgrade your own ship. But a lot of it is just sailing around, discovering new areas, trying to complete some goals, trying to get points. And then when you get to fighting, the fighting's really interesting because you're going to take cubes from yourself and your opponent and drop them into this essentially cube tower. But it's this ship, and it's going to bounce them. It's not really a cube tower. It bounces them all out, and they're going to fall into these little holes. And depending on where they are, that's going to do damage or get you money or get you various different things. And that's kind of how you're going to win or lose the combat. It's a really interesting game. It does not feel like a whole lot else that's out there. And I keep thinking I need to set it up and play it again because it's one that I really enjoy every time I get it out. There's an expansion that I have not even played with, and there's another one that's a big battle chest, which will be a big box to hold it, but that's coming someday. Um, but I really enjoy this. It's the sailing game for me because the theme is some of the games on the list have been hand wavy on theme. This one definitely is not. You really feel like kind of like you described with Merchants and Marauders. You're sailing around. You're picking how you want to do it. You do not have to fight a single thing in the game. You could just sort of be the person who goes out, finds the goods, brings them back, and sells them, and that's perfectly okay. And you can get a lot of points that way.
Hmm.
And or you can be the sort of cutthroat person who wants to go out and fight stuff. Either way, it's a lot of fun, and it's a great sailing theme in Dead Reckoning. Sounds like there need to be
Okay.
zombies there.
Yeah. Well, Dead Man's Chest, etc. This is all parody themes.
Hmm.
Well, okay, I need to try it. Yeah.
I think you would. I actually think you would like this one.
Mm-hmm. I might. All right. So my number one, and I'm a little bit surprised that you put some not so very thematic games on the list, and you didn't put this game on the list for some reason, because I'm sure you played it and you enjoyed it. Maybe not. Maybe you haven't played it. But this is the one that has different scenarios and you go through them. It's a story game and you are pirates sailing
I
around.
thought about this one, but I figured it would end up on your list, so I could put these on mine.
Okay. So Forgotten Waters
I
is
didn't
the
forget them.
okay. Because
it,
this is
it
the
fits absolutely.
this is another one. This is another one that's, all about pirates sailing. You sail across the sea. I mean, of course it's all about the storybook, etc., and the app, and you mostly, the most fun is getting to the locations and getting your mission done, and all of this stuff. But it has the pirates theme to it,
It
and you're
does.
sailing around, and sometimes you have sea battles as well. So there's a lot of that. So this is a crossroads game. There is also the freelancers and wandering galaxy, which freelancers. So I played that one. It doesn't have that many scenarios, and I played freelancers quite a bunch with different people, and I tried to learn wandering galaxy with the app. It was like tutorial scenario.
Hmm.
We didn't get through it. We
Mm.
ran out of time. It's a bit on a I would say not the best tutorial. It has some issues, and they need to, fix some stuff. But as I understand, the app is still in beta. It's not fully done, or at least it wasn't fully done at some point when I played it.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, this is the first one out of those three. Not the first Crossroads game, but the first one to implement this kind of a to Dead of Winter as it was cool as a Crossroads game, but this one kind of does the things better. It does the right choice in implementing the Crossroads system via the app, and it's the first one of its kind of a system. Now we have three of those, and I'm sure there will be a fourth one as well. So,
I'm sure.
and it's so easy to play. It's kind of like a worker placement. You can play up to, I think, 7 players, and you go to the different spots, and then you resolve them. You just sometimes do the skill check. You roll the dice, or you choose something, or you read a story, or put the story to be read on the map, on the app. So yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy to play. There's quite a few things in the beginning, but actually it's very easy to play. It's very engaging. It can be on a long side. The scenario can be on a long
It
side.
is.
It is long,
Hmm.
but you can play it in 2 parts. You can play one part and then put it away, and then play the second part some other point if you want to. I love to play
I've never
through the
done
whole
that,
scenario.
but
Well, I've done that before because we didn't have enough time. So now I usually plan. If we'll the people I play with, and I played a lot of the 2 player. There are some extra rules with 2 players. You control different stuff, different pirates, etc., and freelancers as well. It's the same, but it's easy. And
yeah, it is. I
playing
played it
two player,
solo.
playing 2 player is faster.
Yeah.
And if you know the game, we both know the game. We just get into it, and we can finish in, I would say, 4 hours. The whole scenario, depending on the scenario, we could finish in 2 or 3 hours. Two is not, no, it's impossible. It's at least 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a long game. But when you say, "Oh, we can finish it in 4 hours," that's like, ah. But I
Well,
know what you say. And the game doesn't feel as long as it is, which is a good
yeah,
thing.
because you can play Merchants Marauders. It would take 4 hours.
But
Something
that
like
one
that.
feels long. Um,
Yeah, this one does not, because it's very engaging. It's the
it is.
actions are very snappy, and usually the most time is putting the audio on and
Yeah,
listening to a story.
it's
So
that
that's
is
what takes a
definitely
lot of time.
that adds another 50% to the game length.
Yeah, you could
Um,
read it yourself faster, so you can.
yeah, but it's well done on the app, so
Yeah,
I would not
it's
read it
fun.
myself. This is a good game, and I really did think of it on my list. I knew it would make it to yours, so I figured, well, I'll talk about some other games that I don't talk about all that much, and
Well,
that also fit the theme.
interesting is this one did not pop into my head right away. The
Oh,
very first game that popped in my head was Merchants and Marauders,
yeah, I figured.
and then there was Islebound, and then eventually I'm like, oh wait, Forgotten Waters is about sailing and pirates, so that was fun. It didn't, because it seems like I moved on from this one. I have
Hmm.
freelancers that I played a bunch, and then I'm probably gonna move on from. I'm gonna sell freelancers at some point, and then play Wandering Galaxy. So maybe I just moved on from it. I forgot. I'm like in that freelancers mode right now
Yeah.
more because freelancers is a bit better as a
I've
game.
still not tried Freelancers. I'd like to, and I'd like to try Wandering Galaxy, but this is the only one of the series I've currently played.
Yeah, I would. Wandering Galaxy seems to be the most complicated. This is the most complicated. Freelancers is not as complicated, but it's an RPG type, fantasy type theme. But Freelancers does some extra stuff, which is a bit more fun. You know, it
Yeah.
adds some extras that will kind of enhance the experience. So in a sense, and Wandering Galaxy is uh, it has some new stuff going on. You go into a location, like it's not like you just send a location. You turn on the book, and you can get into location and then get inside that location, something like that. It's like you go. It's not like you just go to location, turn to that page. There's also like a mini map within that location where you can also roam around and get to other pages.
Yeah.
A rabbit hole
Okay.
in a rabbit hole. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. You have to just, it's like you go into that location, and then inside that location you can explore those mini locations. But like, it's fun. But yeah, hard to learn with the app right now. Maybe it's better now.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
have to try it out. I think. Well, anyway, that's a topic for another time.
yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. That was fun,
It was,
and we
and
had
full of
some.
semen.
Yeah. There once. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna get sued. Copyright things. I
Probably
don't know.
well done. Well,
Yeah. That's it. Bye bye.
oh, bye bye.